Every other week, the Paul brothers call someone out to a fight. It's fun to see them pick fights, and it's even more surprising to see them win those fights. We respect the hustle and their ability to get under people's skin. But it seems that this time, the former Kiwi rugby player and now boxer Sonny Bill Williams is the target. Jake Paul calls out Sonny Bill Williams. The YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul has a phenomenal record in boxing and has been unbeaten in his career so far. This has only helped his confidence grow as he appeared on the podcast of Teddy Atlas, a famous boxing trainer and commentator. Paul was asked about his next fight, and he came up with a list of boxers he'd be willing to go up against in the ring. It was a pretty decent list, containing the likes of Floyd Mayweather, Tommy Fury, etc. But the surprise name was Sonny Bill Williams. SBW's is a surprising name because Jake Paul's clearly not familiar with the boxer hailing from New Zealand, but we're sure Paul watched SBW's fight against Barry Hall. But then again, can we call it a fight? SBW absolutely destroyed Hall within a minute or so and knocked out the Australian in a brutal manner. This is probably the biggest reason why Paul has called him out, because he knows what sells and it'd make for a fantastic fight because people expect him to lose. Either way though, Paul makes a lot of money and gains a lot of subscribers and popularity, so it's a win-win. But Paul has shown that it isn't just about the money for him, as he really puts in the hard yards before his fights. Sonny Bill Williams replied to Jake Paul, "SBW isn't someone who shies away from potential fights, and he was quick to potentially accept the offer of a fight from Jake Paul." Williams thinks that Paul's made a huge mistake by judging him on his old fights and that Paul's underestimating him a lot. He's explained how he's improved in the last few months and he's developed tenfolds. "We can say for sure that this isn't a bluff, as SBW was simply lethal against Barry Hall, and if we see the same version of SBW coming up against Jake Paul, we fear for his career, because he won't be coming out of the ring unbeaten." SBW added that he respected Jake Paul and wouldn't hate on him. It shows that SBW isn't condescending and knows that Paul won't be an easy challenge. He analyzed Paul by saying that he's good on his feet and he's a powerful athlete, but explained that he's much bigger, taller, longer-limbed, and equally good on his feet, if not better. This seems like a fight that could be closer to happening than we've anticipated because both of them seem up for it, and Williams is ready to accept this challenge. Unlike other callouts, this seems to be the one that might be answered, and both have a lot to lose, making it a fantastic matchup. What to expect from potential SBW Paul fight? If the fight does come to fruition, we can expect an insanely good battle. Jake Paul has proven so far that he's not afraid to take on a challenge, no matter how big it is. His fans from all over the world admire his ability to walk the talk and put in impressive performances in the ring. He's made a name for himself in the ring, and he's gaining respect from many boxers, as he should, after his impressive win over UFC's Tyron Woodley last December. Paul's actually unbeaten in the ring in his professional career across 5 fights, and while he's relatively new, his potential opponent isn't exactly a veteran in the sport either. SBW was initially a rugby player who accumulated 58 appearances for the national New Zealand side. However, his boxing career isn't a joke and can't be termed as a side hustle because he's really good at it. SBW has a 9-0 record and has 4 wins by knocking out his opponents. The 36-year-old has an orthodox stance and will definitely love to go up against Paul because it could be an incredibly lucrative event. He said that it could be a world event and wouldn't even mind fighting in America if that's required. SBW explained that he appreciated Paul's skills and prowess in the ring, and we believe he also appreciates the audience Paul manages to draw. As he pointed out, it could be a catchweight fight between the two, with SBW having to drop below 100 kilos, considering Paul's somewhere around 95 to 96 kilos, according to Williams. Given Williams has been previously lauded by many boxing analysts, and Paul doesn't shy away from a challenge, we could see a pretty decent fight if it happens. Tommy Fury's "want it, come get it" message to Jake Paul. Tommy Fury's match against Jake Paul fell through in December, but that hasn't dimmed the chances of a fight happening sometime in the future. This time, the offer has come from Tommy Fury, who has told Paul that he's ready, as Fury prepares for a fight against Daniel Bocianski on the 23rd of April at Wembley. Fury explained how he was only focused on Bocianski and didn't care what Paul had to say. It seemed like Fury is getting frustrated with Paul's changing stances regarding him, and added how Paul hasn't made his own mind up and wasn't sure whether he wanted to take Fury on. He told Paul to keep his name out of his mouth and only to mention it if he wants the fight. Fury has said that he's not hard to find and there's no reason to delay it, and if Paul wants to set it up, he should get in contact to arrange a possible bout immediately. Knowing Paul, we can definitely expect a response. He has a tendency of calling out multiple fighters, as we've seen with SBW and many others. We were unlucky that the fight didn't go through in December after Fury had to withdraw following a bacterial infection and a broken rib, but we hope the two can arrange a potential matchup in the months to come. Gallen's a fight away from history. Paul Gallen's preparing for his fight against Chris Terziewski in a showdown to determine the next Australasian heavyweight champion. This title shot could be historic if Gallen was to defeat Terziewski, as no other crossover athlete has ever managed to capture the title. At the same time though, a loss could also result in some sort of history for Paul Gallen, as he plans to announce his retirement by the end of the year, and a loss would only result in doing so earlier. It won't be an easy task for Gallen because his opponent boasts a 10-1-1 record with 8 knockouts. fights. Then again, Gallon doesn't fear challenges. The 40-year-old has never backed away from them, and he won't be doing so now. His experience in hindsight will definitely help him prepare better for the challenge, but once the bell goes, nothing else really matters. Terzievsky is a southpaw that presents a different challenge to the one Gallon's used to. That has only meant that Gallon has spent more time sparring with southpaws as he prepares for his battle on the 11th of May. He knows what's at stake and how special it'd be to win, but he's not underestimating the task and only wants to give it his all, as he attempts to live and fight for another day. A win would probably mean that Gallon has another fight left in him, as he's announced that he'll definitely be retiring at the end of the year. Dillian Whyte preparing for unpredictable fury. The stage is set in Wembley, London, as Dillian Whyte prepares to take on Tyson Fury in a matchup that could be unpredictable. Wembley's expected to be packed with over 95,000 fans attending the fight as Fury prepares to defend his WBC championship for the second time. He's held it for over 2 years now, and Whyte will be hoping to end Fury's reign. Fury and Whyte haven't been involved in a lot of trash talk and respect each other's career and skills. Whyte's entrance on the stage was a low-key one, but Fury entered with a shout, "Champ's here." Some were expecting a potentially hostile meeting as the two met for the first time since their bout was announced, but it turned out to be surprisingly friendly. The respect between the two was quite evident, and they exchanged some lighthearted talk before shaking each other's hands. They both recognized the gravity of their task ahead of their fight on Saturday, the 23rd of April, with Fury adding that the crowd will be treated to a barnstormer. Whyte later explained how he had multiple sparring partners as he attempted to cover all the bases against someone like Fury, who could attack from any angle and remain very unpredictable. He added that he won't be dancing to his tune and is prepared for everything after being made to wait for a long time for this shot at the title. That's a wrap for this video. Who do you think wins between SBW and Jake Paul, should it happen? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.